Hello everyone, welcome back to our lovely summer season of BFI Film Academy Labs. Thank you so much for joining us. So for those of you that haven't been to one of these before, the BFI Film Academy Labs are online events for 16 to 25-year-olds to give an opportunity to gain industry insight and get professional advice and support to develop your own film programming and filmmaking practices. These events are programmed by the Young Film Programmers Network from the Southeast, and these are delivered as a series of practical masterclasses, workshops, and networking sessions. Now, today's one is very, very exciting, and I'll just quickly run through how it's all going to work. So we've got 30 minutes of our kind of central conversation, which is with Aleks Dimitrijevic and Will Wightman, and that's going to be hosted by one of our young film programmers, Pollock. And then following that, you've got a 30-minute Q&A, and that's your opportunity to interact with our guests today as well. So if you look at the bottom of your Zoom, you see the Q&A function, and that is where you can kind of queue up questions that later on I'll be relaying to our guests. Realised I forgot to mention who I am. So I'm Jake. I'm the BFI Network Officer for Film Hub Southeast. And so my job is connecting filmmakers and organisations across the Southeast region through professional development and events like this. I'm also a writer and a producer, and I work in film, audio, print, online, and do lots of bits and bobs all about film, and including making them as well. And so I'm really looking forward myself to hearing a lot more about Will and Alex's stories today. Now, make sure you do submit your questions or store them up for the back half of today's sessions, and do feel free to just submit them as we go as well. And we do have a live captioning service today as well, so thanks a lot to Andrew, who's running that. If you'd like to access the captioning feature, please use the captions button at the bottom of your screen. Now, first of all, just want to introduce Abby, and she's going to kickstart the first half of our conversation.
Thank you very much, Jake, and thank you very much in advance, everyone, for everyone's attention and time today. So my name is Abby Pollock. My pronouns are she, her. I am a creative freelancer. I live in Cambridge, and I currently lead the Youth Lab strand of the Cambridge Film Festival, and I'm head of the Shorts programming team. I'm delighted to interview two very special individuals today within the film community if they would love to put their cameras on. I'm going to be joined by Aleks Dimitrijevic and Will Wightman today. So Aleks is the BFI Film Academy's Festival and Events Manager and holds the responsibility of programming and producing the year-round activities and events for the BFI Film Academy. This, of course, includes the BFI Future Film Festival, which is the UK's largest film festival for young emerging filmmakers between the ages of 16 to 25. Beginning her career in advertising, Aleks has a wealth of experience within the creative industry and is keen to share her experiences and provide opportunities for new surfacing talent. Will, who recently won the Best Director prize at the BFI Future Film Festival for his wonderful short film, Heart Failure. The film was also featured in the Saatchi and Saatchi New Creators Showcase at Cannes Lions, plus nominated for a Webby. Based in the seaside town of Falmouth, Cornwall, Will describes himself as a writer, director and composer, and is excited to share an insight into his filmmaking journey. Thank you both so much for joining us today and giving us an insight into your personal experiences. So I think we can agree that being exposed to a film festival environment from a young age is very important for emerging filmmakers. And there are such a variety of festivals which specifically focus upon showcasing work from young people. And I was wondering if you could maybe tell us about the main youth festivals in the UK and slightly further afield. Are there any particular differences you want to share with us?
I'll take the lead on that if you're okay, Will. David, if I can ask you, we've actually prepared a slide with some key youth film festival. If I can ask David to share that on screen, and then I'll talk through them all. I mean, there is obviously so many film festivals. There is so many youth film festivals. we've just highlighted a few that we thought were kind of key that our audiences might not know about but should look at. But obviously there is a wealth more film festivals that you can find out on the British Council website, on the Film Freeway platform, or just with a Google search. So these are kind of some of the key festivals we identified, starting with our own BFI Future Film Festival. So I'll just tell you a little bit about each, and then you have links here to all of them, and you can find out more information. So Future Film Festival is delivered by the BFI. It's actually the UK's largest industry film festival for young people. So that's young people aged 16 to 25. It is now in its 16th year, so we've been running for a while. It's a hybrid festival now, and that means that we deliver events in person at the BFI South Bank in London, but also online for global audiences. So a huge, I guess the biggest draw is the fact that it is accessible to anyone, no matter where you are. Then the next on our list, we have Parsnip Short Film Festival, which is based in Ireland. That's a great film festival because there is actually no age restriction for it. It's a film festival that's based in a seaside village in West Cork. So you can attend screenings, Q&As, workshops, and so on, but they take place in like local town halls, pubs, and even people's houses. So it's a really nice kind of like community, homely atmosphere, but it does attract some really kind of prominent UK and Irish industry professionals such as Saoirse Ronan. So a really good one to take a look at. It's 5 days long and takes place at the end of May every year. Then slightly further afield in Italy, we have Jafone Film Festival, and that film festival has been running for ages, for over 50 years. It is for slightly younger filmmakers, 3 years old to 18 years old. I'm not sure how many 3-year-olds make films, but sure. And it's located on the Amalfi Coast, so another really, really, really nice location for a film festival. This film festival gets a lot of funding, so it receives over 3 million euros per year in funding, which means that really excitingly for young filmmakers, they cover, if your film is selected for the festival, they cover your flights, your accommodation, your food at the festival, so you're all set to go and visit it. Then we have Glasgow Youth Film Festival. It's for filmmakers aged 25 and under. It takes place in March in Scotland, obviously. We at the BFI Film Academy support the festival with some masterclasses and talks, but it's aimed primarily at locals communities. So it gives young filmmakers opportunities to get involved in Glasgow's film culture. So if you're local to there, I would urge you to check it out. Then the next on the list is Nifty. Maybe some of you have heard of Nifty. Nifty is the largest, most influential youth film festival in the world. It's for filmmakers aged 24 and under. It's based in the US, in Seattle. It's got a really, really strong industry program. Also the beauty of it is that filmmakers whose films screen at the festival are really well supported even after the festival ends. We our alumni from BFI Film Academy and Future Film Festival, this is a really, really popular film festival for them, and a lot of them have been and attended this festival and absolutely loved it. So yeah, I'd urge you to check it out. They are actually currently offering 50%, I think 50% discounts for those filmmakers who are from underrepresented groups and submit to them. So I'll let my colleague Sarah from BFI Film Academy include a little bit more info on that and the discount codes that you can use because their submissions are open now. The festival takes place April next year. Then we have the next film festival. That's a Danish film festival for filmmakers aged 21 and under. It's a good festival because it's more of a practical festival where filmmakers whose films are selected for the festival get to participate in like a week-long workshop prior to it. And they have a lot of master classes and tuitions from industry professionals. And they again cover travel and festival accommodation, which is great. Then we have the Nordic Youth Film Festival located in another exotic destination in the Arctic Circle. For filmmakers aged 26 and under. Yeah, it's beautiful. and they cover accommodation and food. So if you can get yourself to the Arctic Circle, then you're all sorted. And they accept short films that are up to 20 minutes in length, which is a bit longer than most youth film festivals. And finally, we have Wicked Wales International Youth Film Festival, based in North Wales. It's for filmmakers aged 6 to 32 years old, actually. I think they've recently added, they used to be up until 27 years old, and they recently added that category 27 to 32. So if you're slightly older filmmaker, you can still submit to there. And again, they do screenings, workshops, talks, everything in North Wales, and offer financial support for travel and accommodation, which I think those kind of things are key for young filmmakers.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with not having the most enormous budget, so having that kind of support is really amazing and important. Thank you, Alex. Yeah, it's amazing to see the variety of available festivals like all over the world. There was some on that list that I hadn't heard of before, so thank you very much. But more particularly, the BFI Future Film Festival is where you currently have your role as the festival and events manager. Could you explain a little bit more about the festival and to you what makes it so special and significant in this film community in the UK?
Yeah, of course. So for those of you who don't know, it's a 4-day festival. It takes place every February in half term, so that as many people as possible can attend. Yeah. It's been running for a while as an in-person festival, like most film festivals were before the pandemic, at the BFI South back in London. But the beauty of it now, I think its strongest point is that it's hybrid, and so that young filmmakers from everywhere can attend. If they're in and around London, they can come to BFI South Bank, or they can join us online. And those events programs are completely separate. So we had in total 54 industry events that we delivered last year. And I think Future Film Festival, why it's important, and Will correct me if you think I'm wrong, but I think it's got a really strong industry program, and that kind of attracts young filmmakers to it. Will is nodding.
I 100% agree with that. It's a brilliant network of people. Absolutely, yeah.
You've met like a good group of people through being involved as well, Will?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's kind of two halves. There's all the amazing industry links that I've had, and then also just the like-minded filmmakers as well. So it's that kind of combination of the two is what is really magical about film festivals, you know. And neither is both are amazing, and both bring different things, you know. So that combination, yeah, absolutely. That is film festivals to me.
Yeah, I think you're totally right. I don't think I've ever left a film festival event when I haven't felt like some kind of community has been formed, which I always find very rewarding, and such a network already is made from doing that. So I agree with both of you. Alex, just to quickly ask, you've obviously been doing this and you've done so many amazing things in your career. Is there anything you're particularly proud of that the festival has achieved in recent years that you would pin down?
Yeah, we have so much. I mean, one of the things that we offer that I think is really special are private events for shortlisted filmmakers. So if you're a filmmaker who submitted your film to a Future Film Festival and then it gets selected for a film program, then you get to benefit from a host of private events for you, just tailored for you. Wow. Both in person and online. So last year, for instance, that was in 2021, we were online only. We had shortlisted filmmakers meet with commissioners from the BBC, from Film 4, from Black Dog Films, and they were able to discuss their projects directly with them, get advice from those commissioners. And this year we had Nowness deliver a session about pitching, how to pitch, and also about commissioning. So really useful for aspiring filmmakers. And then we had script surgeries. So when they got one-on-one advice about their, upcoming projects. So whether it's just an idea that they had or whether it's a fully fledged script, they got advice from industry professionals. So, and this is both online and in person, because obviously our festival is international. So we have a lot of international filmmakers. So I think that for filmmakers who are submitting to festivals, I think that's a really, really big thing. But then also, I'm particularly proud of the events that our BFI Film Academy Young Programmers curate. So they're people like you, Abby, who help us with curating events and hosting events and marketing events. And they, every Future Film Festival, put online and in-person events together for the festival aimed at young people. So 2 years ago, we had a session called Let's Talk About Sex, Baby. And that was all about portrayal of intimacy on screen that they've put together. And then this year, we had quite a few. They hosted a big quiz at BFI South Bank, but we also had an event called Girlhood, which I really like because it was all about depictions of young women in film and all of these characters that resonate with young people so much. So yeah, really, really proud of what they do. And those are usually really fun, creative, and really popular events as well.
Yeah, totally. It sounds like a lot of bespoke experience created through this network, which is amazing. I think people would be foolish to not want to get involved in some capacity. How can people get involved with the Future Film Festival? How do people submit their films? What's the kind of process like?
So yeah, they can get involved by submitting. Our submissions are open now. We use a submission platform called Film Freeway, which probably most people watching are familiar with, but if you're not, check it out. Most film festivals in the world use Film Freeway for their submissions, and our submissions are open now, and they're open through the 9th of September. But if you submit before the 5th of August, you benefit from the early bird submission fee, which is important. And then you find out in mid-December if you've been successful. And if you have been, then you come to the festival, and you could be nominated for a prize and win a prize like Will, and win cash prizes, mentorships with industry expert, kit prizes. But yeah, we accept films that from all over the world, from all genres, but there are 10 minutes or under in duration that have been made in the last 2 years, and that are by young filmmakers, so 16 to 25. But I mean, I guess submitting a film to the Future Film Festival is not the only way to get involved. You can also attend the festival. So it takes place in February. Our program usually launches end of January. That's when our tickets go on sale. Registration's open for online events. So you can come there and network, like Will said, attend industry events, meet industry professionals, meet other young, like-minded filmmakers. Or you can also apply to volunteer. I think volunteering is a really good way to get in, to see how a film festival is run behind the scenes, and to have access to, industry talent, and to meet filmmakers as well, all for free.
Yeah, I agree. That's the first, volunteering at a film festival was the first way that I got involved with festivals at all. I hadn't even attended one, and I was volunteering.
Where did you volunteer?
Well, at the Cambridge Film Festival, where I now work. So something obviously worked or went well. I suppose. Thank you so much, Alex. You actually answered my next question, which was about other opportunities, which is like volunteering, which is so vital. And it's, volunteering I don't think many film festivals would be able to go ahead if they didn't have the support of volunteers, and they're so grateful for that support. So it's really good relationships to make with the team inside. And Will, I suppose you're probably still buzzing off winning your Best Director prize. How do you feel? Like, what is it like to be in that position?
Oh, I mean, it's I am still buzzing. I think the festival, for me, like the BFI Future Film Festival, has always been something I've really wanted to be a part of. As a sort of a younger filmmaker, I didn't have the discipline to ever get anything close to 10 minutes, so I could never submit before. But with Heart Failure, I watched the 2021 that was fully kind of online. The 2021 one, sorry. Well, both of them, I think, actually. I watched them and kind of was really inspired by those festivals and all the amazing work that was sort of made. And so, I kind of really wanted to be at the festivals. Part of making the film was about getting it as close to 10 minutes as I could to be at BFI Feature Film, and I think that, and actually I think the film's better for it, because it really forced me to cut things down that I probably wouldn't have anyway. Kind of rambling, but what I mean is, basically I really have always wanted to be there, and it's got, the BFI's got such a reputation, and all the work that gets selected is amazing. And yeah, I mean, it was. I think I just wanted to be there. Do you know what I mean? And I just spent the 3 days I was there just absolutely on level, just like having a great time, and just I was there like morning, like from the first minute to the last minute, just drinking it up. So to win the award was, yeah, I mean, like the cherry on an already very tasty cake. Do you know what I mean?
I love that expression. Yeah, that is wonderful. Like, was it? Yeah, it must have been so incredible to feel that way and have wanted to be participating in the festival for so long. I think we're actually going to be able to watch a short clip or the trailer of your short film, which I'm so excited to see and share with everyone.
This is the part where we get really twatted.
Exciting, amazing. Where was that final shot at the end?
It's all shot in Falmouth, Cornwall. So basically, I was a student in Fal, so that's kind of, it was all there. So that is right at the very tip of the Pendennis Point, which is kind of one of the most southerly points in the UK, actually. So yeah, it's that's like 4 a.m. because we tried to shoot it at sunrise and messed it up. So it's at sunset and messed it up. So I had to come back the next morning to shoot it at sunrise to get the light that I wanted, which everyone was very pleased about. Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, that is the kind of dedication you need if you're making a film like that outside, especially. Yeah, congratulations again. That's amazing. And I feel like the answer is sort of obvious. We've kind of covered it, but how has like this in the past 3 months? How has like your experience kind of changed in your outlook of film festivals? Like, has it resonated as to why they're so important to be involved with them?
I mean, definitely. I would say that pretty much all the good things that have happened in my life in the last 3 months or so have been in connection with this festival and this win, to be honest. I think more so than I kind of realized at the time, actually.
Yeah.
I think it's so well connected that, you know, it was, provided a lot of opportunities for me. And I think, you know, I'd done a couple festivals before, with other films. I mean, I was younger and maybe didn't make the most of them the same way that I tried to with this one.
Yeah.
But I did. I think there is real value in being somewhere which is specific for young people as well. It really helps. It's kind of there's a because they can be intense places, festivals sometimes. If you go to a big festival, it can be, you know, and there's a lot of people who are, you know, you talk to big producers and stuff, and if you're sort of like a 16-year-old filmmaker, like, hello, nice to meet you, you're coming somewhere where it's specifically designed for that, and it's a sort of a bit of a safe place, and everyone is kind of there to support you and knows that you're still growing and you're still figuring yourself out, and all that kind of that element of it was really important, I think, to get you started, and kind of sort of a safe place to kind of make, you know, a couple of mistakes but in a good place, and also, yeah, as I say already, and I'll probably keep saying for the next half an hour, just lots of amazing people, really. Yeah.
See, I think it's really important there to highlight that you said safe place. I agree. I really think that's prominent in film festival environments, because, you know, the people that are surrounding we are young, like we're up and coming, creating stuff. It's okay to make mistakes, to ask questions. This is the perfect kind of ground and community to showcase that vulnerability and get answers, like you said, with the network of people around you.
Totally. And I also think that when you're at a festival like that, it's just the feeling that everyone's in the same boat as well, because you know, I think, and also a lot of my kind of, you know, chats that I've had with people afterwards, that you quite often, it takes quite a certain type of slightly nutty person to make a film, and it's very nice to meet people who are like that, who want the same things and have the same insecurities, and yeah, and just that kind of community of people who really get it is really special. Totally.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a kind of personality trait for people that are making films. You have to have it. But yeah, exactly. It's brilliant. So I think this is kind of a question for both of you, which we've gone over, and I don't think we'll be repeating ourselves, because I think it's important to emphasize this. But the key benefits of being involved with film festival, whether it's from the submission side or being an audience member, what is it about this particular kind of participation that's really important for filmmakers to do? Like, why is it crucial to do this, do you think?
Do you want to go first, Aleks?
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, there's so many reasons. film festivals expose new film and new talent to new audiences, and they champion independent films. But kind of more practically, from a filmmaker's point of view, if you have a film screening at a festival, I think festivals are great places to give you insight into how your films are received by audiences. So what works and what maybe doesn't work as well. So to get feedback. And also, if your film works, if it all works well, then you may be recognized at a film festival and win an award. But seriously, they kind of help give you a platform, increased awareness of your film. And that's really important, because with short films, most filmmakers don't have huge marketing budgets. So film festivals give them a platform. And if your film is screening at a festival as a filmmaker, it's very likely that you are going to be involved in Q&As, that you're going to be invited to be on a panel discussion, do something like what Will is doing today. So events which are great for your development, and also promotion of your work and promotion of you as a filmmaker. And you then may also win some great prizes. At Future Film Festival specifically, we offer cash prizes. We also offer kit rental, which can be quite expensive. And then mentorships. So, like, for example, I mean, Will can talk about his experience, but this year, the best documentary winner at Future Film Festival won 1 year of mentorship with the director of documentary film at Netflix. So that's an amazing exposure for a young director, getting for a whole year advice, discussing their projects with Netflix, getting advice from them. But I guess even if your film is not screening at a festival, there's so many benefits from just attending film festivals, from getting exposure to industry professionals, being able to network with them. Like Will said, meeting other like-minded young people who are interested in the same things as you, maybe finding collaborators for your next project, and so on. I don't know, Will, if you have anything to add. You had this experience recently.
I mean, I would totally agree with you, Aleks, that there's no greater learning curve than watching people watch your film. Do you know what I mean? And it's not like sitting your mum down and watching it in the living room, like being in a sort of dark room. Also, I mean, I would say it can be anxiety inducing, like, because obviously you get to know your film so well, and then you sort of hear the first sound and you go, oh God, here we go. And then you just sort of, you're not watching the film, you're just watching everyone in this like packed out cinema. And obviously, like with BFI Feature Film Festival, it is such an amazing cinema I get to play in. So that kind of, that opportunity to see your work being seen is really, and just like for me, because like with Heart Failure, it's kind of it's a comedy, so I've got all the expectation of when people are going to laugh, when people aren't going to laugh, and kind of when suddenly someone's laughing, thinking that was a serious moment, but okay, do you know what I mean? And like, but things like that, do you know what I mean? Like, just kind of that is really valuable. I totally agree with Aleks on that. And then and I think networking is obviously so, and anyone watching this is going to know this, that networking is so crucial to what we do, and it's great to get that practice and come and meet people and just sort of have interactions, and even if you don't come away from a festival with lots of opportunities at your door, it's still great to just be sort of practicing chatting to people, sort of being able to communicate who you are and sort of showing them what you want to do, and then understanding other people and getting those sort of skills to sort of find opportunities. That is such a big part of what we do. So I think that practice is great.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, everyone's in the same boat, and it is really difficult sometimes to have the confidence to go and have the conversations, but it's really important to remember that everyone is in the same boat. Nobody wants anyone to fail. Everyone wants to help each other. We are a network in the film community. That's what we have to do.
I have to say one thing, because I think Will is being shy, but he got quite a lot of people approaching him who liked Heart Failure at Future Film Festival, and he got quite a few opportunities out of that. And I'm not going to talk. I mean, Will, you can say what they are, but it's just what he told me recently, or just before this event, is that he might be collaborating on his next project with our Best Animation winner, which is really nice. To winning filmmakers who didn't know each other before coming together to make a project.
Yeah, it's I mean, obviously, people did seem to enjoy Heart Failure, and I was very lucky, and I did meet amazing people and did have lots of incredible opportunities. And I do think, and I definitely think anyone applying to these festivals, that it's all for the taking, really. But I would say that it's whatever happens, it's great. It's still an awesome experience. Whatever happens, even if it's just sort of a chance to see some amazing new work. It's brilliant. Yeah.
Wow, amazing. I look forward to seeing that future collaboration. And I think we'll just finish this Q&A off with one last question. So is there anything, this is a question for both of you, that you've learned from your experiences of being involved with the festivals? And is there anything you wish you'd have learned from the beginning? Any specific do's or don'ts or words of wisdom you could pass on to the group? Could just be something small, couple of words, whatever you fancy. But something you wish you'd known from the beginning.
I mean, I would say that for me, there is just so much. You just remember when you make a film, my advice would be just please put it out there, get people to watch it, get people to see it, because there's, you know, even if you don't, you're never going to fully love what you make, and you've just got to get it out there. You know, it's just all about getting as many people to watch it as possible. And as soon as you finish your film, before you get excited about the next one, just take like a few months to just figure out how am I going to get as many people to see it as possible? Because otherwise you've not done all that work justice. So that would be with festivals, with like online distribution, with whatever, just give some time to get people to see it. That would be my thing for sure.
That's brilliant advice. Thank you, Will. And Alex?
I guess I would say start thinking about festivals before you even make your film. So when you're still in your pre-production, you're thinking about your idea. In that production budget, set out how much you want to spend on festivals and on submissions to festivals, and really take some time to do research on festivals and find the ones that would be a good fit for the film that you want to make, rather than just submitting to the same 5 big festivals that everyone else submits to. There's some great festivals there, and if you just take the time to research, and also make sure that you read festivals' T's and C's, because not all festivals accept all films. It's really kind of surprising. I'm surprised every year how many films we get at feature film festivals that are just from people who are way older than 25, or films that are just way over 10 minutes long, even though that's clearly listed on the front, you know, on our homepage at Film Freeway. So it's just, you don't want to waste your own money submitting to festivals that might not even watch your film because it's not eligible. So take some time to do that research. And if you find the right fit for your film, you will benefit so much more from having your work included in that festival.
Yeah.
And come with a plan. Sorry, I would also say come with a plan, because that was the thing that I did as well. As before I came, I'd written like a treatment for another short, a treatment for a longer version of the short that was at the festival, both in a TV and a film format. And I'd like planned what I would say to people if they asked me what I was doing next. All those kind of getting that prep. So because that's the other thing as well, is you get people to come up to you who are really excited and they're like, "Oh, I love your film," and you go, "Thanks, really?" And then you don't know what to say, and then the opportunity just passes you by and you don't even realize it. You know, so just figure out what you want from the festival and do a little bit of prep beforehand, because you never know.
Thank you so much. Both really honest and wonderful words, which I'm sure people will be able to take away and learn from. Thank you both so much for your time. And yeah, thank you very much for answering my questions. Happy to pass over to Jake now, who is going to lead the rest of the Q&A from the audience's questions.
Thank you, Abby.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Abby. That was brilliant. Thank you so much. So we'll dive right into the questions that everyone's been submitting. Thank you to everyone that's been submitting these. Some really useful stuff here. So we're going to kick off with an anonymous question here. And they say, "I'm a film student in my first year, but I don't have any work to showcase yet. Can you attend festivals even without any film experience?" Alex?
Absolutely, and you definitely should. You should come to festivals and watch other people's films and be inspired by them. You can attend industry events and get a lot of advice. We at Future Film Festival, again, sorry to always bring you back to Future Film Festival, but we program our events under 3 strands: storytelling, business of film, and career ladder. And career ladder is all about getting into the industry. So how to break in, what kind of jobs are there in the art department, in the sound department. And so kind of practical things that you may not learn in school, but that are very useful for getting into the industry. So, and you get to meet other filmmakers, and you get to meet some industry professionals and chat to them and learn from them. So yes, absolutely, you should attend festivals, even if you've had made no films, but maybe you have some ideas for films that you can discuss with people who you meet at those festivals.
And also, just to add an extra bit to that, I was in a similar position when I was a student as well, and we actually ended up just making our own festival. We didn't know what we were doing, but we did one anyway, and we started getting films in from local filmmakers. So, you know, if you're not near a film festival, make the film festival come to you. So next up from Keris, are there any specific festivals you recommend for documentary makers? Aleks?
Well, obviously, the biggest ones in the UK are Sheffield Doc Fest and Open City and Documentary Festival, and both of them are amazing, and they're really, really good festivals to attend. I actually used to work at Sheffield Doc Fest and absolutely love the festival. It like transforms the whole town for a week, and it's a beautiful experience. And they have a lot of networking events that you can be part of. So yes, look at those two first. In the UK, and they're a big festival. Obviously, they screen feature films, but there is a shorts program too.
Yeah, and also because documentary isn't maybe as commercial as some film festivals, a lot of documentary festivals have really embraced online screenings. So you had a brilliant film festival in New York called Prismatic Ground, which was a non-fiction film festival. And everything that they were showing that they could, they put online as well. And so it was like a 5-day window where you could go and fill your boots. It was totally free. So you had stuff in cinemas, stuff online. And so really keep your eye out for documentary film festivals, something like CPH Docs, which is one in Copenhagen. That's a lot of online stuff. So yeah, have a look around internationally as well. You'd be surprised at what you can be a part of virtually too. So another one from Keris here actually, and Abby, I don't know if you're still about, but if you want to pop back, if you are still there, this could be one that you might chime in on too. So Keris says, as someone attending film festivals currently wanting to get into film marketing and distribution, what should I aim to get out of attending these film festivals? Any tips? So Aleks, do you want to kick off with that? And Abby, if you've got anything to add, just as you're working at a film festival now as well.
Actually, yeah, I can kick off. But I will say something different to film festivals. I will say to look at our BFI Film Academy Young Programmers scheme. As you can be a young programmer, which means that you're with us on a scheme for a year, and you learn all about how to market films, how to curate events, and how to host events. And then you get to work at LFF and Future Film Festival as well. So I think that as a young person who wants to get into that side of filmmaking, doing this program may be really beneficial. And then you'll also be part of some film festivals too, and see how they run and how they're marketed as well.
Real.
Yeah,
Abby, you are one of those young film programmers.
Yeah, I just to add on to the question about marketing. So that's not really my thing. I have a marketing manager, but one of the things that the Cambridge Film Festival does is actually offer internships to young people. And one of the internships that they do a couple. I did hospitality about 5 years ago, and they do a marketing one as well. And we're a really, really small team, so we really rely on the interns and people that learn the skills while actually doing the job. And I'm sure that there are other festivals that require that kind of care and needs. So I would just recommend researching local film festivals, and you can actually contact them and ask if they want some help. I'm sure that they would be grateful for that, and they can point you in the right direction, and you can get some mentoring through that. That's what I would probably suggest. You learn a lot through working and actually putting it into action.
Real. Thanks, Abby. Thanks for flying in.
No
I see there's one from Mark who's asked whether we can send all the links via email. Mark, if you hop into the chat, we're updating all the links as we go. So if you just follow on in there. And so I just want to get Will involved. So we've got another anonymous one here. So they say, hi, I haven't seen Heart Failure, but I can't wait to. I just have a question for Will. How did you go about actually executing your dreams? What a lovely way of putting it. I am struggling to listen to my creative side from fear of it being perceived. But how have you got past that? Will, how did you channel those dreams, my friend?
I mean, that's quite, I didn't think I was going to get a question like that today. Yeah, I mean, I think for me, the film was always about trying to do something that was like very, very truthful, to the point where I felt like I was kind of putting my heart on the line a little bit in kind of, and if you've watched it or are going to watch it, you will understand what I mean. It's quite a sort of honest thing that I made, and that was kind of, I sort of started it and was just like, do you know what, I'm just going to make something that is as truthful as I can to me and to people I know and things that I understand. And I think, you know, as any filmmaker, that is the best thing you can do, is just make something that is truthful and honest. Because it's terrifying, and sometimes it's like, oh no, everyone's going to know everything. But do you know what I mean? If you do that, you're kind of, you can't really go wrong, because no one knows that better than you, because that's, you know, and I know it's a sort of a cheesy thing to say, but if you kind of take what makes you unique and do it in a unique way, that's pretty fail-safe combination, I would say. Yeah.
Very nice, Will. And I'll just echo something that I listened, as I'm sure many of us do here, listen to far too many podcasts about writing and screenwriting. And so often the idea of steering into the skid comes up, which is like when you are thinking about the story that you want to tell and it gets to a bit that's too painful or a bit too raw, that's the thing that actually you need to be heading into, rather than away from.
Keep going. Yeah, just uncompromising as well. If it ever feels too much, it's probably not enough. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, be bold.
Yeah, and so kind of carrying on from making the film to putting the film out there. So for first-time filmmakers, what advice would you give for that first successful festival run?
I mean, as I was saying before, there is, I think a lot of people think that if you put your film on YouTube and then you send it to a couple of festivals, the magic is going to happen, and if it's good, it will get recognized, and if it's bad, it will get ignored. There is so much online content out there. There's so many films being submitted to festivals all the time. You have to just be resilient. I know it's the same as always. You have to be resilient, and you have to just keep going and sending it places. So I mean, for us, we were lucky because the film was a grad film. We got some money through the uni to pay for more festivals. So we submitted to a lot of festivals, and a lot of amazing festivals. So like, full disclosure, Nifty is an incredible festival. We really wanted to go. We didn't get in, and we were sort of like kind of gutted because we thought it would be a great festival, but yeah, we didn't get in. And so, but you have to just be like, you know what? It's not a reflection of you. It's not a reflection of the film. You just have to be like, okay, next, keep going, fine, and just keep sending out, because when you find a festival that will fit, that lots of amazing things can happen, you know. And it's the same. And I think for a first-time filmmaker, there's a lot of value in, you know, doing this festival thing with an online thing. We did that as well. We put our film online quite early, which is not usually what people do. We put the film out actually online a week after we were at BFI, so we were kind of just everywhere at once, basically. And the same way with festivals, we kind of just put it everywhere that we thought might be good. You know, we put it on YouTube, we put it on lots of online platforms and Vimeo and Dailymotion and TikTok and things. So we were doing that, and then we were doing the festivals at the same time. So it was just a question of it's just about eyeballs, I think, and just not taking any of it too personally. It's such a massive world. There's so many outside elements that are playing into your film and how your film was received that you have no control over. So all you can do is make something that you really like, and then send it to a lot of places, I would say, and just keep going, because you'll get there, you know.
And so I'm going to bring Abby in now to add on a bit more from a programming perspective about the festival runs too. Abby?
Yeah, I just wanted to take the opportunity, because I'm currently doing the shorts programming for the festival, and I get a ton of emails from filmmakers just asking either for more information about the film or asking for a free waiver or a discount that comes in. Just a tip: if you email me and it's very clearly, obviously my email has been copied amongst 100 others, you know, we won't be able to reply. If you personalize it, make it obvious that you've done a little bit of research into the festival, I'm more likely to read your email and pay proper attention to it. There was an occasion about 3 weeks ago where unfortunately someone forgot to add it to the BCC, and I was a CC, so I was copied in. Yeah, everyone, you're going to cringe. And there was like 150 other film festivals that I saw that had also been asked for a free waiver and how much they love it. we didn't reply. So just be consciously aware of how you communicate with festivals and how you talk to them, because it's a really easy way to make yourself known and create prominence already, but just do it carefully, because it can go wrong quite easily.
Yeah, I would also recommend looking out for specialist festivals that might have a thematic crossover with your film. So it might be that it really works for a very young audience. Let's say you've made an animated film that could be like a kind of 3 to 8 year olds might enjoy. There will be festivals that have like a family section where that would go down really well. Or maybe you've made a dance film and there'll be lots of dance specific festivals. And so have a think if there's any kind of subgenres, subcultures that would feel connected to the story that you're telling. So Aleks, a question for you here from Hannah, who would love to volunteer for BFI's film festivals. How can she go about doing that?
Great. So if you go to the BFI's website, we have a section called Jobs and Opportunities. So that's where we advertise all jobs going at the BFI at the moment, paid and volunteer jobs. You will be able to see when each of our 3 festivals, which are London Film Festival, Flare, Future Film Festival, start looking for volunteers. So I think that LFF, if they haven't opened volunteer applications yet, they will very soon be opening them. And for Future Film Festival, that will be January. So yeah, you just fill in quite a short application form to tell us why you would want to volunteer and a little bit about your experience. And you get to volunteer for the festival. And for Future Film Festival, we have roles, all sorts of roles within the festival. You can be front of house, you can help with talent, but we also have special volunteer digital teams at the festival. So they help with, they interview talent who are at the festival, they shoot around the festival, and they edit for like little clips for our social media channels. So you get to be a digital volunteer and your work gets to be shown on the BFI social channels. So yeah, really, really great opportunities from volunteering. But yeah, just look at on the BFI website and all the volunteering opportunities will be advertised there.
Right, so we still got lots of questions in, so I'm going to try and we'll go quick fire now. All right.
Okay, sorry.
So plan a successful festival run. We've done it. We already did that. So we've sorted that out. From the films that you've seen at film festivals, is there a variety when it comes to the budget? Will you see success with a lower budget film? Will, I mean, so from your own experiences, both as a creator and a viewer at festivals, any thoughts?
I would say you can absolutely see a successfully low budget film at doing well at festivals if they've budgeted for festivals. That's when things that's when things are difficult. I would definitely recommend anyone who's starting to think about a film, make sure you take a bit of your money and put it aside and don't touch it for festivals, because if you don't have that money, you can't go to festivals. Like we were. Also, if another tip, like for us, if you're a student in your universities, if your film festival unis love like shouting about their films, and they love being like, oh, look where our film's gone, and so they quite often help out students getting their films to festivals. So I would really recommend, if you've done a film, and you've not budgeted right, and you haven't quite saved the money for festivals, ask your uni if you're there, because that is a good opportunity.
Yeah. I wish I went to your uni.
Just to add that we don't look at budgets at all when we are programming for Future Film Festival. That's not something, I mean, as long as the film, you can see it and hear it correctly, we wouldn't choose films based on how big their production budget was. So don't worry about that at all. We're looking for creativity, innovation, new stories, new ways of telling stories. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay, another anonymous one. I can do this quickly. Are there any festivals for people aged 34 and above? Yes, most of them.
Most festivals.
Yeah. So just as if they might have a age limit on like Future Film, but most of them won't. So just get exploring on Film Freeway or any such festival brochure type website. There's lots of festivals out there for you. So one here from Dimitri, where can I seek feedback and mentorship before submitting a film to a festival? Can you name any specific institutions that support creative development of young filmmakers internationally? Ooh.
That's one for you, Alex.
Yeah, I mean, loads of people will support young filmmakers internationally. I mean, what I can suggest from our point of view, BFI Film Academy, we offer a lot of opportunities for young filmmakers. So you can take part in one of our courses where you will get people working with you every day to help you develop a film. If you attend one of our monthly labs events, there's free script surgeries, so one-on-one sessions with our script doctors who advise you on your scripts and your ideas. So if you have an idea for make an appointment with one of our script doctors, run that idea by them, get some feedback, and then work on that before you ever think of submitting to a film festival. And there'll be loads of organizations who offer the same thing.
There's also no harm in reaching out to filmmakers, politely and being like, "Hi, I've made a film." You won't always get replies, but if you reach out to them and be like, "I've made this film, I'm a big fan of your work," and be nice, you might get some feedback, and that feedback can be invaluable. I'll always give feedback if people send me films. I'll always give feedback. So yeah, that would be my tip.
And yeah, if you're going to a film festival and watching shorts, chances are, like, a lot of those filmmakers, if they're making shorts, that they just want people to be engaging with their work as well. And if you like their stuff, they want to hear about it. And
totally.
Yeah, tell people if you're enjoying their work. You never know what might come of
compliments.
Yeah. So from Noel, now I feel this one, Noel. I'm all right on the other side of a camera, but in real life I struggle. What tips do you have for networking at festivals, especially if you're a bit shy? So Will, how do you find the festival environment from a kind of personal, social perspective?
So, I mean, the first thing I would say, I mean, obviously, if you're somebody who doesn't enjoy, if you're shy, that is absolutely a challenge. Because I mean, I used to be like that as well. I would say, for me, a really good step to pass was to not treat it like a professional environment as well. Be professional, but try and treat it like you're meeting friends and it's a social experience. Try and see it from that side to start with. So don't try and go into every conversation thinking about how you can kind of make an opportunity out of it. Just meet people and just try and form connections. That's a great start. I would also say that for me it was really good to if you buddy up a little bit. So I know if you're you don't have to go on your own. If you've got friends you can go with, maybe people who are a little bit more confident, who've got more experience, or maybe if you meet people who have been to the festival before or something, that's great. So you got a little group, and then you can kind of sort of work your way in that way. My little tip for networking is if I'm nervous, I always open with a joke about how terrible I am at networking, and that always goes down quite well. So that would be a very straightforward tip that I would advise. If you're somewhere where you're struggling, just be open and go, "I'm terrible at this. My name's Dimitrijevic," and that usually works quite well as well. So I would recommend that too.
Yeah, and as we just established, tell them you liked their film.
Yeah, compliments always good too.
Okay, just quickly going through, because I know time's tight. There's a few that we've kind of covered already, but we've got, I'm a 21-year-old college student studying a level 3 creative media course. Would any of my work be accepted, or do I have to be in uni or past that? Yeah, that's fine. No restrictions. Absolutely fine. Where do you begin with filmmaking if you aren't financially able to get the required equipments? That's a really good point. So if you want to be part of this world, but you don't have access to a lot of money, what are any tips there?
I would say use your phone to film. Again, we are not, looking for big budget films. A lot of the films that we see at Future Film Festival and that we've selected before have been made on phones. So that's absolutely fine. Use what you have. See if you're in school, see if they can lend you any of their equipment. Usually they should be able to. But also if you contact kit rental companies, tell them about your short film. Very, very often they'll give huge discounts for equipment to rent it for a day or a couple of days over the weekend if they don't have any big shoots, big projects coming up to short filmmakers. I found in the past that, kit rental companies they love short filmmakers. They know that one day they can be stars, and they're really, really, really keen to help and support them. So just reach out, drop them a line, tell them about your film, tell them why they should give you that kit. And more often than not, you'll be surprised, they're super willing to help.
I would also really just recommend when you're making stuff to lean into what you don't have as well. Like if you're shooting on a phone or on your sort of webcam or something, try and find a story that feels relevant to that. Don't try and cover up the things you don't have. I think quite often embracing your limitations is a good way to kind of make the most of that, I would say. Because sometimes it'd be like, oh, I want to shoot a phone, but then it's like, oh, this doesn't look like Dunkirk. But you just have to just sort of be like, I'm shooting on a phone, what story feels right for that camera? What if I was a filmmaker and I had all the great resources in the world, what story would I still want to tell on this phone? I mean, that would be my tip for that as well.
Yeah. Also consider the fact that a film doesn't have to be made with a camera. You can make a film in lots of different ways. A friend of mine's film Lasting Marks won Best Short at the London Film Festival a few years ago. You can watch it online. It's entirely made up of scans of A4 pieces of paper. No camera involved, and just voiceover and music. So yeah, consider, as you said, Will, embrace your limitations and challenge the form itself.
And consider archive. There is so many great places where you can find loads of archive footage, stills that they can inspire you to create films.
So I'm just going to roll down because I think, there are a few questions that we've kind of covered on similar stuff about kind of internships and organizations. Can you still submit your film if it's just over 11 minutes? Can you cut the credits off?
Yeah, try to make it shorter, but if not, email us at BFI Film Academy. BFI Film Academy. Sarah will post our email in the chat box. filmacademy@bfi.org.uk. That's it. Email us. Sarah will respond to you and see what she can do.
Also, it's always good to make your film shorter. It's quite rare that you're not cutting out stuff that can't go. Do you know what I mean? Just if you can get out into 10 minutes, you probably won't regret it. Do you know what I mean? We cut ours down from like 15 and I'm very, very glad we did.
Are there categories for different genre films at festivals? Yes, depends on the festival, but you'll often see on Film Freeway the breakdown of what categories different festivals have, and a lot of them will have different genre breakdowns. And sometimes you can even search using the search function on Film Freeway by festival genre. And so you can, if you're a horror specialist or something, there'll be festivals out there for you. I know that we were going to do streaming recommendations and other bits, but I think the questions are really useful. So we've got one more minute. So the last one that I want to ask, here we are. I've already made a film and looking for a post-production service like DI and sound mixing, which I can get as support. Can you recommend some? Well, Will, what did you end up doing on yours?
I mean, we did it all ourselves, for better or worse. But I would say, like Aleks was saying, reaching out to sort of post houses is another good way, and just trying to, But there are lots and lots of editors and post production people who are similar to you who will just want to get experience and stuff at your age. So just try that as well. Don't give up; you'll get there. I mean, just be resourceful.
Yeah.
Also at Film Academy, we have a networking Facebook group that, again, Sarah can post a link to it in the chat. But the idea of that group is for people to find collaborators for their projects. So if you don't have somebody who can sound mix, maybe you can put a call out there, and sound mixers in that group are interested in collaborating with you will respond, and you can maybe take it from there. Maybe they have some kit that can help with that, or some connections with post-production houses.
Great. And anyone with a question waiting, I've kind of left it because I feel like we've touched upon the stuff you're asking about in different ways, in different questions. So apologies for not answering directly, but hopefully you still feel like you learned something here. That's it. We're 1 minute over. Apologies. But I think that's the nature of having such a great session and such lovely people to talk to. Will, Aleks, thank you so much for talking to us. Incredibly helpful. And Abby as well, brilliant first half performance, played a blinder there, really good stuff. Thank you so much for listening. We're just gonna end. It's just gonna end. The Zoom's gonna end, so we're just gonna wave awkwardly, and then we'll disappear. Thanks so much for coming, everyone.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you, Will. Thanks, Jake.
Bye.